You guys ready for that? To be clear, this is just our regular monthly board meeting. The work session for the facilities will start 1 hour from now. So let the record show that all members are present. And at this time, if you would, we'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Everybody's been provided a copy of the minutes. Does anybody have any changes that need to be made? If not, we'll let the minutes stand as presented. Mrs. Browning, you have claims.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve all monthly claims and payrolls as submitted.
I have a motion to approve the claims. Do I have a second for that? Mr. Hedrick, any questions regarding the claims? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. No donations? No donations. All right, information report.
Tonight, I've invited our Washington Intermediate Principal, Caleb Cherry, to be here to give an update on happenings here in Washington Intermediate School. Mr. Cherry.
Remember where I stand? I'm pretty loud. I'd rather just go without it. So I've got my notes, so I'll try not to ramble a little bit. We start off all of our meetings with celebrations. So normally they limit me to one, but I'm in charge of this situation, so I got 4 of them. First one I want to talk about, I jinxed myself earlier in the week, because yesterday and today I felt like I've done nothing but run, talk to crying kids, sit in the hallway. It's been, up until that, it's been the smoothest start we've ever had. I made the comment that I feel like we're starting to see the benefits of, years of planning, 3 years of work, the start of this year. I mean, a much smoother, much better start. I had a really positive feeling, when I met our current second graders, last year's first graders, because the year before, when we met them, it took us about 10 minutes to get them off of the bus and into the building and with their teachers. It was actually 10 minutes. I was timing it because I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I gave my little talk, I gave every one of them with a kid between my legs or crawling around or just kind of chaos. This last spring took us 2 minutes. Came off the buses, they listened, same teachers, same procedures. You could tell that everything they were doing was definitely paying off too, and we're seeing that this year with our second graders. The term I used was less feral. I told everybody I'd come up with a better term to describe them, and there isn't one. They're still a little feral, but they're significantly less feral than what they were last year, and hopefully next year I can say the same thing. So we're just kind of starting to see the benefits to that. My next celebration is just how happy and excited everybody is in the building. Last year our big focus when we talked in August was our morale and our plans for improving morale and our continuing great morale. And you can just stand at any point in the building and hear people laughing and having a good time. Everybody gets along real well. We can have a lot of fun with just about anything. I hung up, there was an old oil painting Alina Dunn I found, and I hung it up in one of the faculty bathrooms because I thought it'd be funny. And they made me take it down. They had a lot of fun with it. They're trying to plan hanging another one. It's just every single thing we do, they have fun with, and that's just super exciting. And then the last thing is, we've hired some new staff. What's been super easy is we have had, I can't remember how many student teachers we had last year, like 6 or 7, and the majority of them want to be. I had one that we hired, we were lucky to have, and she said, her exact words were, she was like, this is the building I want to be in. If I had to be a janitor, being a janitor, I was going to work in this building this year. And I just feel like that's a big thing speaks on what we've got going on, definitely part of my celebration. So the next thing I've got is our Kids at Hope, which I know I've talked about that a lot, but it's just an exceptional thing that we have going that I feel like contributes significantly to everything good that we have going, I think you can tie it back to our kids at home. Don't call it a program. I made that mistake my first year coming in. I told real quickly because it's not. It's a system, a belief system. It's a framework. Don't call it a program because it's not. It doesn't fit into one box. We have our different committees. We've got everybody that's volunteered and signed up for it. We're currently in our education and career. Push that really hard after this week. Give it a couple weeks to we got to settle in a little bit. We started our play partners, and we actually it's taken off so much. We are able to do it a little bit the year before last. Last year we did it most of the year. We had our first one Tuesday, and everybody's kind of starting to figure out. I have to be here the whole 2 hours. We had some pop in and say, I can't stay here long. Okay, that's fine. The kids enjoy it for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. It's catching on to the point that Christy trained 2 new ones today. We had 2 new people that reached out after Tuesday, wanted to be a part of it. They come in and do play partners, and it's fun to watch just the kids interact with them. And our big thing that we push is the kids lead the play. So we tell the adults stay in there, they're going to find you, they're going to play games, and they do. And the kids absolutely love it. They don't know that we've invited. They think people just showing up and love to be here. So the next thing I realized I kind of dropped the ball a little bit because I was lucky to have so many people. You know, Lena Dunn was Kids at Hope model school before I got here, and so many people were trained in it. Well, I realized kind of over the summer in one of our talks of, you know, we just kind of naturally train without being deliberate, by being on the committees, by doing the different things you learn as you go, which is why it's awesome. But one of the things I made the comment in a summer meeting of, my staff can do the training. We need to train everybody else. And I realized I've got a lot of new staff that haven't been to the official training. So we met with Christy, Newkirk, Miles, and Miss Batten. That kind of been the main ones. We found one of the things we looked at as we were looking at the Hope Social. One of the modules Mr. Peterson had found, we've kind of started tweaking that, and we're making our plans for training all of our staff in our grade level in our monthly, so that everybody's been through the module 1, the official training, and everybody's pretty excited about that. Something new that we've got that is our Hope Bags. So we provide a lot of materials to kids. What I really like with Hope, Kids at Hope, everything we do, you can tie it back to that. We don't really reinvent the wheel on anything. The big thing we've got now is Hope Bags. We get a lot of new students throughout the year, constantly, and they come in a lot of times, no school materials whatsoever. We were kind of putting some stuff together. The people that do the Bethel Mall reached out and said, how many bags do you want? What if we just had you X amount of prepared backpacks with every school supply that we needed next? So Christy made a wall. I felt bad for her because the fancy hooks she got fell down. So we had to get some more industrial ones set up. And we have a boy and girl, have to be a boy and a girl, but essentially what would be a boy and girl for 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, already packed up and ready. So as we have somebody that needs materials, we've always had materials back in the lockers, but now if someone comes in, hey, do you need anything? All right, go pick out a bag. It's just super quick, simple. We're really excited about that because we have that need, and that way we can do it right there with the parents and not as the kids show up day 1 and they have to go out and hand in a pencil. So there's a new kid that also doesn't have supplies. This way we can send them in ready. We're really excited about that. Again, I've already stated one of the reasons I really like, I just love the Kids at Hope. We use it for everything. Anytime I have to do a discipline, I tie it back to our Kids at Hope. We compare it to our success. We do our pledges every day. All children capable of success, no exceptions. And that's just a conversation we have. You being successful? No, you're also stealing someone else's success. Someone's pencil or backpack or whatever. But we try and tie it back to success before they leave. And a lot of time, most of the time when we start, they have to do the Kids at Hope pledge. I do the treasure hunter pledge, and I explain that, like, if I have to do something I don't like, you are on your suspension, take away recess, whatever, it's because you're not being successful. And this is my way of forcing you. Whether either of us like it, I have to do it. And that's one of the big things. I didn't do that my first year. I feel stupid for not. I started doing it more that 2nd year just because I realized, like, a lot of things I was doing weren't 100% going to the belief of all children capable of success. So it's one of those things that as I talk to teachers, everything we do, the way we speak, the language we say, we're just focused, is this helping them be successful or is it breaking them down? And that's kind of what it all comes down to. And again, I think everything we have going great is based on our kids and our philosophy with that. Those are the main things I was going to talk about. But when I met my lead team, I said, what else do I need to tell people that aren't here every day, that need to know about what we've got going on? We have a new, we call it the Learning Zone. It's essentially a classroom for students with extra emotional needs, for behaviors. So we can kind of take a deep step back, take a big step back, focus on exactly what they need. We know you're in school to learn. You know how to behave, we teach you how to work on that too. It doesn't matter if we're pushing academics. Some kids need more focus on behavior. So this is a room we're able to do that. We've got 2 teachers split because they didn't want to be completely away from resource. Eric Andrews came over from the high school and she runs it in the morning. Mr. Gallman we already had with us, runs it in the afternoon. We've got 2 teaching assistants. We're able to have 8 students that are in there, and it's going really, really well. We've added a little bit as we've gotten through the weeks. We've got 4 that right now, that's pretty much all they can handle. They are in that room. We've got them there. They've got an extra special class time, so they can still go and experience that, but they can experience in a smaller group. People are used to being able to send the TA with them, and some of those 4 go to lunch and recess, but a couple of them, that's just all they can handle right now. And then we have 2 that are with us for about an hour, 2 hours a day, and they're able to kind of do that, use it as a reset, do the gen ed, and then we have 2 that are starting Monday, going to be with us in the learning zone room for just half days. And it's been really, really great. I think it's one of the reasons that our year has taken off to such a great start, because we've been able to identify those students early, get what they need quick, right from the get-go, and not spend 2 or 3 weeks trying to figure out how do we service these kids. That's been great. They've done an awesome job with it. That's taken off really, really well. And then the last thing we wanted to talk about was our win time, because not everybody does that, so not everyone knows what win time means. And it's what I need. Very simple. During every pod has it set up to where that's the only thing going in their pod is, there's only one win time going on at once. So yellow, second grade blue, third grade yellow, third grade blue, etc. They all have a separate win time, and that is when we pull our students who receive English language learners, our English language learners, pulled during that time. Our students with IEPs are pulled during that time. Our title kids are pulled during that time. And then what we're able to do is that leaves a much smaller group within our gen ed teachers, and then we mix those up again based off what they need. Are they real close to grasping your standard? Are they grasp it, ready to push them forward? Good thing, one of the things we really like about that, we've got a lot of positive feedback from parents, especially of students with IEPs, is, nobody knows where everybody's going. Everybody's moving there during that time. You don't know if this person's getting extra help in math or extra help in reading or English language learning. Everybody's moving. So it's super beneficial, and no one sits there and asks, where's this person going? And that was something that our lead team definitely wanted me to talk about with that, just because it's something we do a little bit different, and it's definitely helped with our success. And then they also want me to point out that we're at 531 kids as of today. So last year we were at 480 at the August board meeting, and we finished at 515. So we'll see where we go. That's all we hit 550 before Christmas, so we'll just have to see. So that's all I've got. I hope I didn't rush too much, but I don't want to be boring. Cody said I would be, so I want to make sure I got through it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Now would be the time for anyone that wants to make a patron statement on agenda topics. Do we have anybody sign up for that? No? All right. So we'll move on to personnel. No retirements this month. Resignations.
We have 1 resignation to accept this month. Jasmine Helming, elementary teacher, be effective on August 30th.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the resignation. Do I have a motion for that from Mrs. Browning, a second from Mr. Miller? Any questions on that? I believe she's going back to for more.
She's going to a school district closer to her home. She's a Du Bois County resident, and Mrs. Murphy, Mr. Peterson, and myself are working on a plan. We've got a teacher that have been basically recruiting from the country of Colombia. She's married to a young man from Montgomery, Indiana, and they're moving back to the United States. And so we think she's a great asset for long-term for our dual language immersion program, and we're hopeful that we can get her here probably by October. So we'll be looking at a long-term substitution for the month of September.
All right. Nothing else. All in favor of approving the resignation? Raise your right hand. 7-0. Leaves.
This month, we have the following requesting leaves: Bridget Fellers, leave of absence from the Washington Intermediate from November 13th through February 19th. Amanda Hagan, from the central office from November 10th to January 6th. And Estefania Naranjo, leave of absence from Washington Intermediate for October 28th to January 6th.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve these 3 leaves. I have a motion for that from Mr. Cornelius, I see down there, and Mr. Miller for a second. Any questions on the leaves?
Is that a short joke?
No, it could be a joke about Mr. Omer if you wanted it to be, but we'll just let it go at that. All right, all in favor of approving the leaves, raise your right hand. 6-7-0. Appointments.
Appointments, we have basically some of these long-term subs that will help cover those leaves. First, Beverly Hartz will sub for a leave of absence at Washington Primary. Lucinda Kramer will sub for a leave of absence at Washington Intermediate. Rachel Wildman will sub for a leave of absence at Washington Intermediate. And Christina Zielger will sub for a leave of absence for a music teacher for the upper and Washington Primary.
All right, I have a recommendation to approve those 4 appointments. I have a motion for that. Mr. Omer, a second from Mr. Hedrick. Questions? All in favor? 7-0. ECA appointments.
Every August, we try to have it in August, our long list of non-athletic ECA appointees. So I'll be reading a very long list. I think we have a few athletic ones that were tagged on at the bottom. First, for the band director, ECA, Brandon Burris. Band percussion, Kaylee Angermeyer, Brandon Burris, Brandon Hagan, and Patrick Keeley. Band guard, Marley Burris. Vocal music director, Scott Griffith. Elementary music, Mike Gregory and Doug Saito. High school department chairperson, Rhonda York, Tony Barnard, Angela Barnard, Jamie Halter, Suzanne Hawthorne, Jason Johnston, Sarah Kelso, Matt Riney, Eric Browning, and Valerie Clark. Senior class sponsor, Jamie Halter, Christine Myers. Junior class sponsor, Ronnie Brown, Erica Andrews. Freshman class sponsor, Jennifer Peachy. Elementary head teacher for the primary, Kristen McGuire. Intermediate, Amy Batten. Upper, Lisa Emick, and Veal, Rochelle Evans. High school yearbook, Jason Smith. Drama and musical, Scott Griffith. High school art club, Jennifer Peachy. High school varsity dance, Lily Jones. Competition dance, Lily Jones. ICC, the International Club, Lisa Mitlider. Junior high head academic bowl, Elizabeth Hilt. Junior high academic bowl, Jessica Hadley and Delaney Berger. Elementary academic bowl for spelling and math, upper math, Brett Madison. Upper math, Kylie Ombre. Upper math, Quentin Myers. Upper math, Brittany Walls. Upper spelling, Joe Roach. Upper spelling, Jessica Butcher. Intermediate math, Megan Riley. Intermediate math, Jordan Bennington. Academic competition coordinator for the high school and junior high, Christine Myers. For the elementary, Julie Wadsworth. High school academic bowl, Emily Johnson, Christine Myers, Jamie Halter, Suzanne Hawthorne, Jennifer Peachy. High school spell bowl, Christine Myers. Elementary, Just Say No Club. Upper, Kelly Miller. High school STEM, Jaden Barley and Joe Furman. High school science club sponsor, Valerie Clark. Junior high and elementary STEM for the junior high, Tamara Delisle. Primary, Olivia Stoll and Brian Heffernan. Intermediate, Ashley Dubon and Veal, Taylor Conley. High school dual credit, Angela Barnard, Brian Hancock, Christine Myers, Rhonda York, Joe Furman, Lori Hancock, Daphne Holland, and Viviana Galindo. Junior high beta, Krista Higgins. High school beta, Cindy Wilson, Sarah Kelso. Tech director for the auditorium, Scott Griffith. High school student council, Courtney Memmering and Stephanie Garland. Elementary student council, For the intermediate, Christy Newkirk. Upper, Leslie Gray. Upper, Bailey Green. Beal, Rochelle Evans, and Jana Frederick. ROTC Rifle Team, Ronnie Brown. ROTC Drill Team, Thomas Sparks. DECA, Evan Stoll. Business Professionals of America, Brian Hancock. Archery for the high school, Ronnie Brown. Junior high, Anthony Warrender. Upper, Ray Arvin. Upper, Quentin Myers. Winter Music Director, Brandon Burris. Winter Music Assistant Director, Patrick Keeley. Winter Guard Director, Marley Burris. High School Head, Robotics, Zach Lacey, Jake Journal, and Phil Wally. Junior High School Head Robotics, Tamara Delisle. Junior High Assistant Robotics, Megan Wilmot. Washington Upper Head Robotics, Lisa Emick. Washington Upper Assistant Robotics, Caitlin Mincy. Washington Intermediate Robotics, Ashley Dubon. Washington Field Robotics, Taylor Conley. Junior High Boys Tennis, Megan Wilmot. Junior High Head Girls Track, Megan Wilmot. Softball Volunteer, Lisa Walker. And Junior High Student Council, Liz Hilt. Thank you.
Over 100 names, roughly. Very good. And you only missed one, and he's here. So I'll go ahead and say high school head robotics, Matt Wright.
Okay. It's all good.
All right, I have a recommendation to approve all of those ECA appointments. I have a motion from Mr. Hitter and a second from Mrs. Brown. Questions on all those fine folks? All in favor? 7-0. Thank everyone who fills those positions. They are very important. Any other?
No other.
Any old business?
No business.
New business?
We have some surplus items this month for you to approve. The Robotics Club has some items, I believe, coming from the junior high program, where they've made a switch between circuits from where they started a couple years ago. They had purchased equipment, and now they've switched to a different circuit. So this other equipment really is not of use for them, but because it's a competing circuit, it's the thing where they can put this out and put it for sale and likely get some cash and then reinvest those funds in the equipment of the circuit that they're on. So that's the purpose for the robotics kits. And then from our transportation department, we have some older buses that we would like to surplus, a 2010 Thomas special ed bus and a 2010 14-person passenger white bus.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the surplus items. I have a motion for that. Mr. Rhodes, second from Mr. Hedrick. Anybody any questions on the surplus items? If not, all in favor? 7-0. All right, the calendar.
In an effort to try to stay 2 years in advance for our families, we'd like to approve the 25-26 Washington Community Schools school calendar. It basically follows the same sort of pattern and model that we've had for the last couple of years in terms of where the breaks fall, winter break, spring break, and that sort of thing.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the 25-26 school calendar. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Hernandez, second from Mrs. Browning. Anyone have any questions on the calendar? Looks like we start on the 6th that year. Am I reading that right? Yep. All right. All in favor of approval, raise your right hand. 7-0. Okay, supplemental statements.
An annual action that we need to take is approving supplemental stipends. This year we have assistant AD supplemental pay for Gretchen Miles. And then something we're in our second year, the state has changed the NESP grant, which is a grant for us to help with staffing and professional development needs in the area of English learners. They now basically put that NESP money straight into the education account, so it's not a separate grant. So we do approve those through board meetings now. And so these are all teachers that are involved with our English learning program. And And they are Lisa Mitlider, Alejandra Davila, Mary Sacarello, Juana Santos, Laura Allison, Kristen McGuire, Brittany Ponce, Shannon Strange, Patty Coteros, Debbie Goodman, and Isabella Henderson.
Okay, have a motion to approve the supplemental stipends. Have a motion for that. Mr. Miller, second from Mrs. Browning. Any questions on the supplemental stipends? If not, all in favor? 7-0. Vegas leadership.
Mrs. Wilson and Mrs. Kelso, our beta sponsors, have put in a request to take their leadership team, the student leaders, to one of the leadership conferences this year. She's providing the 4 options. I think the last couple of years, they've gone to the one in Tennessee. I think it ultimately depends on the group of kids that they're going and, the smallest number of conflicts. But this is a trip that they've taken every year. It's out of state, so we need it board approved.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the Beta Leadership Summit trip. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Hitter, second from Mr. Miller. Any questions on that trip? Not, all in favor? 7-0. Kids at Hope.
The Kids at Hope Masters Conference is in Phoenix, Arizona, and we'd like to send 2 new teachers that have never been before. Randy Browning, who's a teacher at Washington Primary, and Chelsea Travelstead is a teacher at Washington Intermediate. The travel costs and the cost to attend the conference will all be covered by the Title II grant.
Okay, I have a recommendation to approve the trip for professional development for Kids at Hope. I have a motion for that from Mr. Elmer, second from Mr. Cornelius. Any questions on that trip? I think we always get pretty good feedback from anybody that goes to that.
Yeah, it's a good conference, and like Mr. Cherry was talking, it's just a good way to see where the whole concept was born with Rick Miller and his team, and it just continues to build the momentum that we have, continuing to build staff that has actually been to the main conference.
All right, all in favor of approving the Kids at Hope trip? 7-0. Any other?
No other.
Any patron statements on non-agenda items? All right, information items.
The board will have a budget hearing for the 2025 budget on Tuesday, September 3rd at noon at the central office in the boardroom. And then the September regular board meeting is scheduled for September 19th at 7 p.m.
All right. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring before the board this time? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Mr. Hedder, second from Mr. Miller. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Hey Scott, I've not been to a lot of these. What are the patron statements? Because I'm not sure I know how that works. You have to sign up to do that? Is that how?
Yeah, we have a sign-in sheet
You
when
went
you
through
come
the
in.
fast, I was like, I didn't even know it.
Yeah, so we have a sign-in sheet when you come in. We have 2 different times for that. At the start of the meeting, when I talked about it, if you wanted to talk about anything that was on our agenda, that would be the time you would talk about that. Then if you just had something you wanted to come in and talk about, non-related to the agenda, right there at the end would be the time for that. And you can sign up when you walk in, basically.
The sheet is always blue, so it stands out.
And it's usually on a little stand at central office, but a little different location. All right. Yeah, we're gonna take just a short break here, and we got through that really quick, but we will start right at 7, and we'll have everything set up with our presentations for you.
So should I end this one and start